A very good evening once again. Thank you for joining us of BBC News tonight, this 27th day of October 2024. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. And without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's top stories. In our headlines tonight, the Speaker Anita Annette Among elected Vice Chairperson of the Forum of African Speakers. And police still holding 3 sets of feet at Mulago Mortuary. Farmers in Busoga decried drastic drop in sugarcane prices from 250,000 to 50,000 shillings per ton. And in sports, 800-meter silver medalist Brenda Chekwamoy earns Uganda's first medal at the ISF Gymnaside. Thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. The Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Anita Annette Among, has been unanimously elected the Vice Chairperson of the Forum of African Speakers and Presidents of Legislatures. This was during the second General Assembly of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of the African Legislatures in Accra, Ghana. Our reporters had more details on this story.
The Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Anita Annette Among, has been anonymously elected as Vice Chairperson of the Forum for African Speakers and Presidents of Legislatures. This was during the second General Assembly of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Legislatures in Accra. The Speaker of Parliament of Ghana, Sumana Kingsford Bagben, hosted the meeting that brought together the parliamentary leaders across the continent. Discussions focused on finding sustainable solutions to African shared challenges, poverty, unemployment, political instability, and climate change, better resource management, and governance. Forum leaders underscored unity and regional cooperation. Speaker Among told delegates the importance of African unity to tackle the continent's challenges. She said addressing African challenges requires united efforts and shared solutions to unlock the potential resources and empower the people. The newly elected chairperson of the forum, Bagman, called upon legislatures to take initiatives that solve Africans' challenges. The Assembly stressed managing Africa's natural and human resources effectively with minimal resilience on foreign aid, deeper across-border cooperation in economic integration, governance and infrastructure development to unlock the continent's potential. Oko Joseph, UBC.
Still holding 3 sets of feet at the Mulago Mortuary believed to be the remains of juveniles who were victims of the fuel tank explosion in Chigogwa. These are thought to belong to 2 juveniles whose bodies were not recovered from the incident. 11 bodies have so far been handed over to their relatives following DNA analysis, and a total of 24 died in the incident, while others still remain hospitalized. The police have yet to release a report on the cause of the fire, but preliminary investigations based on eyewitnesses' accounts suggest that a nearby charcoal stove could have sparked the explosion.
The Uganda Police Force has confirmed that so far 24 people have died following an incident where a fuel tanker exploded in Chigogwa, Kampala, Bombo Highway. 11 of these have been handed over to their relatives for a decent burial following a successful DNA analysis.
The remains that came from the scene, they were burnt beyond physical identification. So we had to take off samples and send them for DNA. So in summary, total number of bodies so far handled, there are 24. The males are 18. The females are 6.
According to the forensics pathologist Moses Byaruhanga, 3 feet are still kept at the Mulago City Mortuary as investigations continue to ascertain the relatives of the deceased.
Meaning at least these are 2 bodies, because a body is supposed to have 2 feet. So we shall continue to keep these until when people come up to claim, then we shall take off samples for DNA and we'll try to match them and we see to whom they belong.
The driver of the fuel truck is still at large. However, preliminary investigations suggest that the explosion of the fuel tanker was sparked off by a charcoal stove that was in its vicinity.
There was a person who allegedly slipped while holding fuel, poured in the charcoal stove, and the whole place caught a flame.
Also like to appeal to the public to give information regarding the driver of the truck. Police is still hunting for the driver, so please give information to where the driver is.
On several occasions, government has supported families that have lost their dear ones in different incidents across the country, including giving them money ranging from 5 to 10 million for those who have lost lives, while giving 1 million to those who are hospitalized. According to the State Minister for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, this is not a policy, but it is on humanitarian basis.
This is our government. The people who are affected are our people. So sometimes we decide depending on the circumstances. Even those who lost their property in this accident, we shall think about them from a humanitarian angle and from a point of them being Ugandans. It means not everything has to, you can't have a policy on each and everything. There are some things where you take a position as government on grounds.
It is not the first time such an incident is occurring. In 2013, a fuel tanker exploded in Namungona along the northern bypass in Kampala, and over 33 people lost their lives. Most of those who died were those who attempted to tap fuel from the leaking fuel tank. Now, it is advisable that whenever any vehicle carrying fuel is having a leakage, the public should inform the security agencies as soon as possible to respond to any form of eventuality. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News at Mulago City Mortuary.
Very much, of course, do send our heartfelt condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones. And in that same manner, in a heartfelt gesture, the Minister of State for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, has conveyed President Yoweri Musevenis' condolences amounting to 5 million shillings to a family in Kairingito, Katosi, Mukono district, who lost a loved one in the recent fuel tank explosion. Additionally, other ministers have been dispatched to provide support to bereaved families in various areas. Our news crew managed to reach those areas.
naye obubaka bwa pulezidenti nnyo tujja kusaba mukama nti omwoyo gw'omugenzi mukama agulamuze ekisa.
Kweyanziza honorable nange sina bingi byakwogera batuli mu kunyolwa kungi naye nebaza batuuze bannange tubeererawo okuva ku bbande.
We are here in Katosi, where at the family of one of the people who died in the Ifano in Chigogwa. But this one is even a more tricky situation and very, very sorrowful situation because the lady died with 2 of her children. But because of other traditional issues, now the lady will be buried at her ancestral home and the children will be buried in Iluka. Here we are in Katosi, where the lady will be buried, but the children have been taken to Iluka. So President Museveni sent us here to at least deliver his mabugo of 5 million shillings. So it's what I've just delivered. But as you are aware, Honorable Uda Eleru is in Arua delivering condolence message of the President to the family of that person who was from Arua. And then Honorable Balam is in Masaka for the same. And Honorable Kaboyo is in Luweru to deliver the message, condolence message of the President to 3 families. Today we have managed to deliver only 7 to 7 families.
May their souls rest in eternal peace. The Archdeacon of Chakabuga Archdeaconry North Ankole Diocese in Chiruhura District, Reverend Canon Moses Katuteo, has appreciated President Yoweri Museveni for presiding and maintaining a peaceful Uganda over the years and appealed to those that are orchestrating criminal and subversive acts that may return the country to bad governance to stop. Reverend Canon Katuteo made these remarks at Emmanuel Church of Uganda in Rempogo during a Thanksgiving service of completing the construction of the church. Details in this report.
The Sunday service at Emmanuel Church of Uganda in Rempongo, Kiruhura district started with gospel music praising the Lord. The service aimed at thanking God for enabling Christians complete the construction of this church.
Now we are going to buy machines and this church will be on the standard. We have been with our guest of honor, Madam Ruth Mushaber Jochi, and they have contributed at least 2 million cash for buying the machines in this church. And we are supporting her as she have come to support us.
In his sermon, Reverend Canon Moses Katuteo emphasized on creating peace and appealed to enemies of peace to find other alternative means of addressing their grievances than destabilizing the country.
Ahindure bitekateko byabo ukwanga no kuryo munsi kubiri hano umuntu kwari kugira akagara bamwanga wagira akapicho bamwanga ubushuma buryo munsi ukwitana kurya higuru so ntushabiri hanga uranga tereze ubusinge umuntu atungire umbona kubwe uburanga mutekateke.
The guest of honor Ruth Rujochi Mushabe cautioned the youth against temptations associated with bad manners and purported modern dressing styles.
Add value in our lives, in our speech, in our dress, in our mannerism in society. And for me, as a leader, I feel my part of my message has been addressed. Besides what we learn from home, the church also tells us how to behave. And I am now talking to young people especially to know that if you do not value yourself, the world will not value you.
Rujochi also applauded Christians of St. Emmanuel Church of Uganda for building a nice church for the Lord and supported the church with 2 million Uganda shillings to accomplish the unfinished work.
But it is a very clean church. It has very committed Christians. I do not know what to add. I can only say that God multiplies us because I am a member of this church as well. This is where I am married. That's where my husband comes from. So I want to say that we should not lower our standards. Let us be the example that we have set. And I can only say that the future will get better.
And in more news, farmers in Busoga region are decrying facing economic hardships, decrying a drastic drop of sugarcane prices from 250,000 shillings to 50,000 shillings per ton. The unexpected price drop has exacerbated the already challenging living conditions of the outgrowers. Local communities, leaders and government, they appeal stakeholders to intervene and stabilize the prices.
The significant price decline in sugarcane without a clear explanation from millers has left many outgrowers in Busoga sub-region struggling to make ends meet.
These Indians, they just decide from nowhere and they just decide to cut the prices. From nowhere, they just cut the prices. The minimum should be 190,000 per ton.
We are being cheated because they are buying you at 120 minus transport, minus cutting, minus other deductions. You realize that they are buying you per ton 65.
Farmers have failed to tell who determines the price of their produce.
If the millers themselves, they sit alone negotiate themselves, have a dialogue with themselves as millers, as rich people, rich Indians, and determine for the price.
They just wake up one morning and say, in a factory in Kacha they are buying at this. In the Wayuya they are buying at this. In the Mayuga they are buying at this. Now, for us, we are just in the black, just in the darkness.
Currently, Busoga sub-region has over 50,000 sugarcane outgrowers, employing more than 1 million people.
The drivers are more than 20,000 in Busoga sub-region. The cutters are more than 200,000. We are having people who are weeding in our gardens. We are employing a big population in Busoga sub-region. So, I can count that we have about 1 million people benefiting from the sugarcane growing, both direct and indirect.
But millers claim that the surplus sugar in their stores has triggered the decline in sugarcane prices in Busoga sub-region.
We tried to get some people to buy their sugar from Kenya. When they came, they did not sell their sugar. The price was so high that Kenyan buyers could not buy the sugar.
Now farmers want government to review the sugarcane bill to regulate sugarcane production in the country.
We are lamenting for the legal framework, which is not there. This is why the Indians are now very adamant. Even if we talk, even if we do what, they don't listen.
They also want government to establish the Busoga Sugar Factory and to meet the head of state to address their concerns.
Need at least the pledge that was mentioned by you to be on. Really, we've been supporting government since I was born. I've never seen any president.
If possible, we want to meet His Excellency, the President of Uganda himself, to meet him, talk to him, and tell him the problems and challenges we are facing to the sugarcane plant.
Oko Joseph, UBC.
An international mediator, Dr. Daniel Oriworth, has advised mediators to eliminate corruption in the line of duty. Now, this was during a certificate awarding ceremony to mediators who underwent training on techniques in mediation to facilitate alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. More details in this report.
During the Judiciary Annual Performance Report of the financial year 2023-2024, launched by the Chief Justice Alphonse Owunyidolo at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala, over 400 cases were disposed of through mediation. Among these were over 237 cases, which were handled during the mediation week. The Chief Justice Alphonse Owunyidolo says there is need to embrace alternative dispute resolution mechanisms in addressing case backlog. Reconciliation Trust International has trained mediators in mediation techniques to support judiciary in addressing case backlog.
Contribute, and this is the African way. I will reiterate what the Chief Justice normally says: this is African dispute resolution. This is our way of resolving conflict, by talking to each other, by getting a neutral third party, by getting someone who is who you know will be fair, will be just, will be committed, because you are still you haven't got that injection of being a gladiator, the lawyer type. Rather, you are, you can listen. You are not after winning or losing, because in mediation it is about the settling the conflict is the winning.
An international mediator, Dr. Daniel Oriworth, was at the awarding ceremony.
It is good for the church for us to have this kind of knowledge. It will help us to even counsel people in a better way and lead people in the right way.
Dr. Yoweri Musevenis, who initiated the association, warned the mediators against corruption while on duty.
We had an opportunity to go to conduct a plea bargain camp in Luzira. And you would see the people that have been there waiting to get justice. So there are very many people in this country that feel they have been denied justice. So for us to come and contribute our humble part in the value chain of resolving conflict, it is a commendable job.
Among the awarded mediators was Dr. Abraham Narebe, who highlighted how they have benefited.
You have to shine, because there's darkness there. People will come to you and want to tip you, to scratch your back. Say, no, let me first solve this problem first. Because once You allow that, it will bias you in mediation. The thing my brother mentioned, we are doing a ministry of reconciliation because Christ, who is the best, the most powerful reconciliator, is in us and is the Prince of Peace. Amen? So don't fear to go anywhere.
Deborah Namamonde, Tanaba Kenneth, UBC News.
Furthermore, environmentalists have called for concerted efforts by government and oil drilling companies to make deliberate efforts in restoring ecosystems affected during the ongoing infrastructure development in the Albertine Graben. Dr. Peter Babayenda from Environment for Development Initiative says that the continuous encroachment on wetlands and other ecosystems along lake shores have partly caused the increasing water levels being witnessed at Lake Albert and Lake Victoria.
Rising water levels have become a concern, displaced families and threatening their homes and livelihoods. The impact is being felt across the region as communities grapple with the loss of property and the challenges of relocation. Environmentalists have called for concerted efforts by government and oil drilling companies to make deliberate efforts in restoring ecosystems affected during the ongoing infrastructure developments in the Albertine Graben. Dr. Peter Babayenda from Environment for Development Initiative says the continued encroachment on wetlands and other ecosystems along the lake shores have partly caused the increasing water levels being witnessed at Lake Albert and Lake Victoria.
I must tell you that most of the rising water that you see there come as the result of the rising water of Lake Victoria through River Nile, the Albert Nile. That's where most of water is coming from. And the rising water is as a consequence of a number of factors. One, the activities that we are doing near our water bodies. We are not respecting the buffer zones. We find park cultivating up to the water. So what happens is that when the rain comes, all soil goes into the lake, causing what we call soil solidification. So you have a lot of soil which makes the lake to become shallow. And as a result, there will be water flow. And this water flow, that's how it has come up.
Because if you have the buffer and it rains heavily, it would mean that these wetlands would hold the water. But now if everything is cleared, it will imply that whatever comes, whether it is in the form of runoff, whether it is in the form of the rains themselves, it will just end up in the water bodies.
This urgent call to action was echoed during the inclusive green economy training for senior public servants. Environmentalists also called for policymakers to reduce the cost of electricity and other clean energy sources, particularly in rural areas where communities rely heavily on biomass for their energy needs.
It of course has the key role to play through the relevant ministries. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development is coming up with so many initiatives. We pray that they are given money by the Ministry of Finance to ensure that these initiatives are implemented. For example, the increased connection of rural areas, connectivity of rural areas. Issues to do with availing, like they wanted to talk of distribution of LPG cylinders.
As the country prepares for National Development Plan 4, environmentalists are optimistic that the government will include climate financing and greening agenda to fight the ever-changing tough climatic conditions.
We already have the Green Growth Development Strategy, which has key actions. Although it was initiated a long time before, the trainings we've had under Inclusive Green Economy, it is the main document that we front as the guide for the achievement of green growth in the country.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
The KTA Symposium 2024 has concluded in Kampala, bringing together policy makers, storytellers, cultural heads and political cornerstones under one roof. The vision of preserving cultural heritage is a public good, localizing intellectual property for Uganda's digital economy and harnessing technology to shape the future was emphasized.
As a cultural practitioner,
The three-day event featured key speakers, including Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs Norbert Mao, Honorable Justice Patrick Tabaro, State Minister for Children Affairs Balamba Rugahara, among others. The symposium has been an eye-opener to discuss the importance of protecting cultural heritage and promoting local intellectual property in the digital age.
Unfortunately, the principles are still on and they are available. It is a question of imparting knowledge of those systems in our people, our children, as they grow up. In other words, make African culture part and parcel of modern education.
Saying that cultural education is very important in being able to go back to those values that we espouse and that we talk about as Ugandans. For the panel that was here earlier, they were saying that Uganda is younger than the kingdoms. So, but we only talk about Uganda, of course, because we are a country, but our culture has existed way before these geographical locations.
The symposium also explored strategic policy interventions to accelerate Uganda's science, technology, and innovation sector. The discussion is also centered around the role of kingdoms in policy and development, as well as the preservation of cultural heritage in private hands.
Probably means that at some stage policy will be determined or dictated based on the interests of native communities, which will probably be articulated and or mediated through native institutions and customary institutions. We get native institutions into parliament, but the proper question must be, what should our democracy look like, and what should our representative legislature look like?
We only use these artists to mobilize for our political work. We are not using the artists who can easily come and spread the PDM program to the common man. So we need to change that mindset. Culture and creative industry should be part of the PDM mobilization and all these other mobilization. So that
the symposium addressed culture and digital future, and the attendance of Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs Norbert Mao emphasized the relevance of kingdoms in policy and development in Uganda.
Consequences of disruption. So it requires energy which can only come from the state through a unified approach. So those of you who are here should rally around the Honorable MP here to put pressure on us, because we specialize in ignoring things. So we need a central body to reclaim these cultural expressions, and we must go to the greatest length to assert our right to what is ours.
The symposium raised the need for inclusive laws and policies, leveraging technology to preserve cultural heritage and promoting collaboration between policymakers, storytellers, and cultural leaders. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Students from Acholi have also expressed disappointment to their local leaders, for most of them shunning this year's Acholi Students Inter-University Cultural Gala organized in Kampala this Saturday. The event was honored by the Youth and Children Affairs Minister of State, Balamba Rugahara, who preached unity in diversity.
Students from Acholi sub-region have convened at Nsambya Sharing Home in Kampala for this year's Inter-University Cultural Gala. These have been drawn across all universities of Uganda.
This event is organized by Acholi Students Union, a union that unites all the Acholi students from different institutions and universities. Today is our Cultural Gala Day.
On such an occasion, the Acholi students show their rich ethnicity, and for this very one, it has been held under the theme, Togetherness in Diversity.
I've actually had a number of colleagues after crossing that Karuma Bridge, which is closed, when they reach Kampala here, and they go back to Gulu, maybe after 2 days, they no longer know how to speak Acholi. They will just come like 2 Luganda words, and they go back there to surprise the whole village that, yeah.
On behalf of government of Uganda, we are proud to associate with you because Acholi people are great people. And Acholi is one part of Uganda, and Acholi people live in Acholi. They are part of Bunyoro, they are part of all the other tribes. So we are united by culture. First of all, I want to thank you young people, the students from the different universities.
Addressing the students, Minister Balam implored them for this initiative, but also preached for political unity.
Everyone can belong to any party. What unites us are these galas. Despite belonging to different political parties as students, we are all Acholi, and we are all Ugandans, and we are all Banyoro, different tribes. But whenever we do such galas, they unite us. So it is on this note that I'm encouraging you, people in power, in your respective power, in your universities, do not discriminate people because of their political party affiliation. Do not discriminate people because of their tribes.
The Acholi students, through their union, however, are seeking for the government's and president's attention on some issues affecting their community.
Honorable Banam, bear me witness. I see here you are the only one available. You are the only one coming to support the Acholi students, and you are not an Acholi. What does this imply to the others who are out? Because the people we reach out to first are always our leaders, but their replies and the feedback is always not okay. It doesn't mean that if you are to come here, you should give us money, or we are going to question you for what. But we need your presence. We need to follow your footsteps. We need to be guided in areas of leadership, in areas of work, and different other departments. That
I love Acholi, I love Langi, I love Karamoja, I love all parts of Uganda, because you are young people, and you are Ugandans, and we belong to Uganda. So there is no reason why you should not come. It is unfortunate your leaders have not come, but probably some of them are busy. But however busy you are, they should send their PAs. When they need votes, they will come to the young people. Me, I'm only seeking one vote from Museveni, from Acholi.
Justine Nakami, Robert Onyango, UBC News.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Amazina ganje Nyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri byo muhanguzi wa $186,000 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana 278 hash nkafuna message eri kweka mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo ne byabafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ngo nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Drivers under their umbrella union, the National Union of Drivers, Cyclists and Allied Workers, have called on government to promote road safety within the country. The leaders of buses, trucks and taxi drivers convened at Teachers House in Kampala on a fact-finding meeting to understand what causes drivers to cause road accidents. More details in this report. Here we go.
Buses, trucks and taxi drivers attribute the increased road carnage to government failure to bolster efforts geared towards promoting road safety. The General Secretary, National Union of Drivers, Cyclists and Allied Workers, Moses Baleka, says road accidents can be reduced through tripartite responsibility with government.
We have had a meeting with the drivers in the country. Those include the bus drivers, truck drivers, border borders, trailers. So we had a meeting with the constant of accidents. Normally the public, you normally say that the drivers are reckless, they are drunkard, they eat grease, whatever, they are reckless. But we have realized that as workers, there are more issues that causes accident. So take an example of a worker working without appointment letter. He's an SSF, he's deducted, but he's not remitted. His salary has taken 3 months without getting salary. He has gone into a safari either to Kisoro without lunch. And the man is driving on when he's sick. If somebody makes an accident and the tire gets busted, they make him pay. So we have realized that is very important, which we could solve between the together in the tripartite. That is the Ministry of Labour, government, employers and workers.
The workers say government agencies, including Uganda Police and workers members of parliament, have failed to dialogue with them for a solution to road carnage.
Of course, for us we are the drivers, but we have the sources of these road crashes. And this mainly comes from the employers and then the government itself, like the Ministry of Works and Transport, which is responsible for regulating, and even the members of parliament who are supposed to enact the laws. They are all not doing their responsibility. They are not playing their part, and they have left everything now to the driver.
This kind of training is supposed to be Ministry of Transport, to train the workers, to train everybody, to train the employers, to train in how people should what? Should handle the what? Should drive, should respect the law. Today, even the Minister of Transport was invited, but they didn't attend.
State Minister of National Guidance, Honorable Kabyanga Godfrey Baluku, has dismissed the driver's allegations.
That is not fair to my government. For us, our work is to pave the roads and to put the safety rules, and you yourselves, you break the safety rules and cause what? Accidents. Then again you blame them on government.
Even police were supposed to be here, because you find sometimes people are driving, they don't even care about the workers. So the issue is, we are cautioning the ministry, take charge, train Ugandan workers on how to use road and how to understand road safety.
The drivers say government failure to regulate the industry has led to influx of substandard spare parts on the market. However, they recommend implementation of regular vehicle inspections and maintenance checks. Benon Mokwaya, Wangira Clement, UBC.
Butabika Sweaters, Knitters, Savings and Credit Cooperative under the team NRM Blessed Family in Ruzira has utilized the parish development model to create opportunities for its members and campaign for the vision bearer, President Yoweri Museveni, for election come 2026 general elections. This was during their day coming together meeting at Luzira.
Through its sweaters, knitting and farming initiatives, the circle helps members improve their livelihoods and contribute to the country's food security.
This team was established for development, empowering and poverty eradication.
The circle also provides training and capacity building programs to ensure its members have the necessary skills.
Though we have got some challenges, but the challenges we have got still can be solved.
The chairperson of Butabika Sweaters, Knitters, Savings and Credit Cooperatives, Justin Bogere, says the group had economic transformation.
Netutandika neturegistering as CBOs. By that time it was 2008 nga to start in the women's group. Bwe twava ku women's group netuyingira sako.
Among the income-generating activities focused on by the group is farming, tailoring, knitting and shoemaking.
Asina supported them with a token that she has held in his pockets and given unto them.
The chairperson NRM Blessed Family team highlighted the team's ambition.
We are here moving with that theme of developing people through coming together, forming cooperatives. So we have moved the entire country, mobilizing people to form cooperatives, so that we can embrace all the teachings of President Museveni.
Team NRM Blessed Family highlights the government's efforts to improve the lives of Ugandans. Benon Mokwaya, UBC News.
And furthermore, the General Spiritual Director for St. Mary's National Major Seminary, Gala, Reverend Father Dr. John Baptist Tonko, priest, has lashed at parents of learners in candidate classes for preparing them with heavy meals as blessings for good luck. He says it is important to pray to invoke God's intervention instead. This was during a homily during a dedication and blessing service.
Don't be afraid, you will excel. Work and pray. Remember, I insisted on that. The master we had last time, that work and do what? And pray. And I gave you the prayer of St. Clear on the impossible cases. There's nothing impossible. At occasion that even us as parents, we invoke the Holy Spirit upon our kids. It's nothing abazadde tusabira abaana bano omukisa. Nekonodeni wetale mmeroingira kusabulano jokuyana nembere. Ojo omwana aliwa aliwudda wa naye ng'ekikulu wakikiseeko kyakuyiseeko dda.
The Bishop of East Busoga Diocese, the Right Reverend Paul Hannington Asubi, has warned parents on escalating the cases of child neglect and all other forms of child abuse. He urges parents to ensure the holistic transformation of their children, as these details share with us.
Paul Hannington Asubi, the pioneer bishop of East Busoga Diocese. This morning we came to pray for the P7 candidates of our school called the One Forest. But we want to thank God because while people are looking for schools which only give academic performance, Owen Falls Dam Primary School is one of the rare schools in this country where the fear of God, discipline, cleanliness, and academic performance are embraced. Parents, as these children come back home, please make sure that you create time for them. Let them be part of your business. Let us put values in these children and prepare them for the next level of education. If we don't do that, then the world will take them on. Let us participate in making sure that we give them a firm foundation and background.
Kunda Faith Mujizi, and this is what we do every day at school. Our science teachers teach us how to grow crops and take care of plants. Now I'm harvesting. One of the crop growing activities. Harvesting is among the last steps in food path.
We do it when they really love it and enjoy it. So it is creating a spirit of love for agriculture among the children. 2, it helps them to understand the concepts that have been taught in agriculture. And that is under, of course, that's why we call it integrated science.
He has given me victory. Hey, hey.
Over 2 billion shillings is required to construct a shelter to house persons diagnosed with cancer and ease access to health centers for those who come for medication. Uganda Women's Cancer Support Organization have told the annual physical exercise aimed at addressing challenges faced by women with breast cancer to this cause.
The annual dance workout exercise was spearheaded by Uganda Women Cancer Support Organization, which was held in Kampala. The exercise convinced cancer survivors to address the increasing cases of cancer through doing physical exercise.
We're buying these ribbons, wear a ribbon to show that you support this. I mean, get yourself one of those jackets so that you can wear to support the same cause.
You know, you have cancer patients in Lago and other places. They lack accommodation, they lack food. So as we carry out dance workout, we are fundraising for cancer patients.
During the campaign, experts urge the public to always go for cancer checkup.
For ladies, 7 days after your period, and for gentlemen, just pick any day of the month to examine your breast to make sure that there are no lumps in it. And in case you find any, please go to the nearest health facility. When you screen early, it's detected early, then it can be treated. So please don't fear.
Uganda Women Support Cancer Organization says they want to construct a 2 billion facility for people diagnosed with cancer.
And we would like to appeal to the public to come and support us in this event where we are raising funds to build a home of hope for cancer patients. You can do that by buying a pink ribbon or buying a vest, but also want to encourage ladies and gentlemen that breast cancer is real and anyone can be a victim.
This comes as Uganda commemorates October as a month for cancer. During the campaign, experts urge the public to always go for cancer checkup.
And the type of support they may need is counseling and also self-care. They need support from government for treatment. They need transport to hospital. They need food. They need school fees for their children.
The annual dance workout to address the increasing cases of cancer was held under the theme, No One Can Fight Cancer Alone. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
To be a winner, it requires that you exceed all the limits of mankind and womankind. But when you play with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your stomach is full, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way. With an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local government, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating, with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. The State Minister for Finance, Henry Musasizi, commended Uganda's capital markets for promoting the savings culture among the working class Ugandans, but also advised that it should be taken to the informal sector as well. These views were shared at the end of the World Investor Week, organized by the Uganda Securities Exchange and the Capital Markets Authority here in Kampala. Uganda's capital markets have registered 4,000 daily users, recording an average daily peak of 3,200 investors posting orders on the Uganda Securities Exchange platform.
We have further put in place linkages to the telecoms, so both on Airtel and MTN you can be able to access your holdings and place orders. And we've seen a lot of input on this system. Over 24 million shares have been traded off these two platforms. So again, we're providing more inclusion.
Uganda Securities Exchange currently has 44,000 investors in the 18 listed companies. This increased uptake of capital markets signifies increased confidence by investors in Uganda's economy.
We are fighting to build an economy which can sustain itself. And one of the sustainability strategies is the economy that is able to finance, largely finance its needs. And how do you achieve this? You need to mobilize savings within the economy.
At the climax of this year's World Investor Week, hosted in Kampala, several stakeholders offered insights on how to leverage technology while investing.
There's now an influx of AIs that can replicate what an average investment advisor would do, right? That just means that the floor has been raised. Every professional in the field who is not better than the AI either has to go for training and get better than the AI or leave the field.
So my parting shots about the technology, it's either going to do two things for you. If you embrace it, it will increase your competitiveness and increase your gains. If you don't, it will eat into your market share. So
Capital markets channel savings from investors to businesses that require capital for growth and innovation. They also determine the value of securities through supply and demand, thereby enhancing market efficiency and investor. United States has donated over $1 billion to vulnerable communities in Chiriandongo district. Initially, Touch Africa, working with refugees and host communities to provide education, water and food, has also commissioned a project of over 1 billion Uganda shillings vocational skilling center in Nyabagando village in Chiriandongo district. Let's have a look.
Thousands of people will know how to work and glorify our God and earn a living.
I managed to join NRM Blessing, and now for 3 months I can plant.
Some fruits of generous people across the world in helping to support Touch Africa Now and the great work that Touch Africa Now is doing. So our role is to help support them in seeing the people, the lives of the people of Uganda changed.
I started here was having kids who were living without any skill. They learned how to read and write, but then they would join the villagers without any work. They remained unchanged. And so we thought of introducing skilling, basically in school. We can start skilling the people in the village, particularly the young people, be them girls or boys.
The East Africa UK Tourism and Culture Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11th Thurlow, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eauktourismexpo.com to register.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and now in the world of sports, Uganda's International Schools Federation 800 meters silver medalist Brenda Chekwamoy has spoken out about her feat on Saturday that earned Uganda its first medal at the ISF Gymnasiad in Bahrain. Let's have a look.
Uganda sent 52 athletes at this year's International Schools Federation Games that have witnessed a rest day in the Bahrain capital city, Manama. Going into the break, Uganda has already been able to win itself a silver medal that was achieved by Brenda Chekwamoy. It was a closely contested 800 meters final that saw Greek runner Loriana Rosu edge the Ugandan by just 3 microseconds. Despite losing, the Ugandan runner prides in her achievement and is optimistic the entire team will perform and deliver medals before the games end next Thursday.
But I have not expecting that I will get a medal, but if I reach 200 meters, I get a confidence and I will make it and bring Uganda medals. I will be proud of Uganda, so that's why I will to show Uganda up. That's why I just sprint and get this medal.
Uganda Sports Press Association President Al Said Lubega watched Chekwamoy in action and confirms Uganda as a powerhouse vis-a-vis circumstances back home.
Regardless of the result, every small milestone is celebrated. Why? Because it's about the education and the growth. Today you had badminton players being taken through mental preparation, safeguarding, anti-doping. So this game is a collection of ideas. It's a pattern of growth beyond the result orientation, but the exposure, the training facilities. Today, for the first time, we had swimmers that had never tested the 50 meters pool. They used to 25 meters pool where yes, you make a quick dash, tumble turn, then you return. 50 meters was a new experience for them.
The Games had a break today with a Team Uganda being taken for a tour around Bahrain tourism sites and later a culture night. The action resumes on Monday with a table tennis, swimming, tennis, basketball 3x3, athletics and badminton singles.
And that brings us to the end of our UBC News Tonight this weekend. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. But before we go, this is about that time where we come close to the end of the year. And I think most of us are going to be reevaluating our goals. Well, it's not too late to push on. We do encourage you to press on until you see success. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.